Today I'm behind the wheel of a brand new 2021 Ford F-150. But this is no ordinary F-150. This is a hybrid F-150. That's right. This one I'm testing comes with a brand new PowerBoost engine under the hood. Not only is it powerful, producing 430 horsepower, it's also very fuel efficient. This one achieves 24 miles per gallon in the city, highway, and combined. Yeah, that's pretty darn good. And best of all, you can opt for this brand new engine in basically any trim level. The F-150 I'm testing today is not the top, limited, or platinum. No, in fact, this is the base. This is a base F-150, and it's still configured with this brand new PowerBoost engine. So in this video, learn everything there is to know about this brand new F-150, including how it drives with this brand new PowerBoost engine, so you can decide if this is the right truck for you. All right, let's get started. A big thanks to PackyWeb Ford for making this video possible. If you're in the market for a brand new or used Ford, definitely check out PackyWeb Ford in Downers Grove. Their URL is on the screen and in the description. All right, I'm behind the wheel. Let's see how good this brand new F-150 is and see how it drives. Well, the first thing I want to talk about is how weird it is to start up an F-150 and not hear any engine noise. Now, this XT does not even come with a push button start. That's unfortunate. You have a switch key that you have to actually turn the ignition with. However, once you turn the ignition, it's like, okay, did the F-150 start? Because, you know, everything, accessories, the screen, everything turns on, but you don't hear the engine start up, and that's because of the brand new PowerBoost engine. It starts up in electric only, and it turns on the gas motor when needed, like when you're driving. So first, let's talk about this brand new PowerBoost hybrid engine. This really sets the F-150 apart from the competition. This is what Ford has been talking about for ages now. Well, this one is a 3.5 liter V6, and Ford paired a 35 kilowatt motor between the engine and the transmission, and it boosts the power up to 430 horsepower, making this the most powerful engine you can opt for in an F-150 outside of the Raptor. And the torque, 570 foot-pounds of torque. This is a very, very powerful engine. And not only that, I already mentioned, besides the power, this is the most fuel efficient engine you can opt for too. Because inside this big, heavy F-150, you can now achieve 24 miles per gallon, not just combined, but also in the city. If you just did city driving, local driving all day long, you can still achieve 24 miles per gallon combined, which is amazing. And what I love is this engine isn't that costly as an optional engine. It's about $4,500, and you can opt for it even on a base trim. But I've read 0 to 60 comes in around 5.4 seconds with this PowerBoost engine. That's amazing. With all new F-150s, Ford now has something called Pro Power on board, which Ford basically turns the engine into a gas-powered generator. So if you wanted to utilize your F-150 as a generator on the work site, you can. Now, with gas-powered F-150s, you get a 2 kilowatt plug in the bed, right? So that only limits you to certain power tools you can plug in. Now, with the hybrid, that gets bumped up slightly to 2.4 kilowatts, although you can opt for a 7.2 kilowatt outlet in the back. So if you wanted to plug in some heavy-duty machinery or tools back there, you can. So that's also a main benefit to the hybrid, is that that standard outlet gets bumped up a little bit versus the gas models. Okay, besides this new PowerBoost engine, what else is different about this 2021 F-150? Well, literally like everything. On the outside, it may not seem like it's different, but it is. Almost every panel, every sheet metal is different. But Ford took a conservative approach. They wanted to make the F-150 still look familiar, And you know what? You can't mistake it. It doesn't look like a Ram. It doesn't look like a Silverado or a Sierra or a Tundra. It looks like a F-150, and that's what Ford wanted to do. So looking at the front end, if you pay attention, you could tell the differences. Starting with the hood is sculpted very differently. It's a little bit hard to tell because this is a white F-150, but you could tell the hood is very sculpted versus the previous hood. Also, the grille, the big grille is different, though depending on what trim level, you can get different type of grills. But this one is just pure black, a little bit plain, but gives good contrast versus the white color. The headlights, however, are very different. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have the beautiful daytime running lights that forms a C shape, and it goes all the way to the bottom bumper where the fog lights are. This one just has a lot of chrome. This one has auto on off, you know, halogen beam, doesn't have the cool LED lights, but it's still very big. The design looks much better in my opinion, and I like the placement of the fog lights too. So as you can see, the front end, even though it's recognizable, but it's also very different. Now moving to the side, it looks like a F-150. It looks like a full-size truck. This one is configured with the Super Crew cab, right? Which means you have a ton of space in the rear, and you have a 5.5 foot bed. Of course, there's different bed lengths you could choose from. 6.5 foot bed if you wanted to haul longer things. You know, in terms of bed and cab configurations, there's just a ton to choose from. Now, moving out back, I like the new stamped F-150. Is nice and big, and it's subtle too. And underneath, if you get a trailer hitch, what's great is this PowerBoost engine allows this F-150 to tow up to 12,700 pounds. Yeah, you could certainly tow a lot. You could pretty much tow your whole house if you wanted to. I mean, it's quite a bit. Now, inside the bed, pretty plain. There's no bed rails, there's no liner, nothing like that. But you can opt for the new, like, workbench. So it's just like this sheet of plastic that's built onto the tailgate. And it's kind of convenient because it does have like a measuring stick. It's a good surface with some grooves, right? So if you are doing some work back there, you have tools, or you want to cut your 2x4 or whatever you want to do back there, it's nice to have back there, but it is optional. Also, on the tailgate, you can see there are these holes for you to use C-clamps on. So if you did want to clamp on a 2x4 on your tailgate, you can. I don't know how many people, though, will be cutting their 2x4 on the back of their F-150, but maybe that'll become a new thing now. And of course, you can opt for those fancy steps, which is really nice. If you want to get inside the bed, you simply pull out the steps and you just step in. Very, very nice. The tailgate itself is not dampened, so if you let go, it'll just like drop really hard. But the good thing is it's not very heavy. So when you're lifting it back up, it's relatively easy, effortless. So that's pretty good. Now, moving into the second row, into the cab, as you can see, there is an enormous amount of room. Enormous amount of room. I'm 5 feet 10 and I have over 12 inches of leg room and at least 6 to 8 inches of headroom. There is a lot of room in the second row, and it's plenty wide, so 3 adults could fit, no problem. And you get cup holders, you get 2 USB ports, outlet in the back, right? So you get plenty of plugs back there too, which is really nice. And of course, if you wanted to fold up the seats, you can. They fold up really easy, and what I love is with F-150s, the floor is completely flat. As you can see, it's flat, so if you wanted to put bike, a TV, more tools, if you wanted to sleep back there, you can. So very, very spacious and nice in the second row. Now moving up front, even on this base trim, I could tell the quality, the fit and finish is better than the last generation. I've reviewed many F-150s in the past, even though Ford jazzed it up with leather and stuff like that, but you could tell there's just certain plastic trim pieces and stuff that just looks dated and doesn't fit well. But this design to me looks really, really nice. Fit and finish, the overall design, very, very nice. Now let's start with the steering wheel. The steering wheel is new. It's pretty basic. It's not leather wrapped, but it has a good thickness and overall feels pretty comfortable. And the buttons, pretty easy, well labeled, and there's not a million buttons like previously, right? So I do like that quite a bit. Now, moving inside the gauge cluster, this comes with a very small digital screen that's a little bit laggy, but the good thing is it's very bright and you do get to see a whole lot of things. Everything about your F-150 you can see within, right? Now, if you opt for higher trim levels, you get a much bigger, like 8 or 10 inch screen, and it pretty much displays the same thing. So it really depends on if you want a bigger screen or not. But, you know, this gives you the essentials, and also, of course, you do have your tachometer, speedometer, and your gauges for your, like, temperature and stuff like that. Now, remember I talked about the new Pro Power outlet and how you could utilize the engine as a generator. There's actually a dedicated button right next to the steering wheel. If you press it, a warning comes up and tells you you're about to use your engine as a generator. But I like the fact that Ford thought of it. You don't have to fumble around inside the infotainment screen. You can simply press a button and you're done. Oh yeah. So I just sped up about 25, went all the way up a little bit past 60. Yeah, this is a fast truck. This is a really fast truck. I mean, it feels just as fast as the Raptor. And it's weird too, because while you're moving, you don't get like a very loud engine noise or exhaust noise. Normally you would, one or the other or both. This was a kind of like just like almost like an electric car. It's like you just hear like a slight whine and you just like take off. This is a pretty fast truck that achieves amazing fuel economy, really. And I forgot to mention, this is a 10-speed automatic that it's hooked up. Now, I believe this is the same one from the last generation. Now, I will say that the previous generation with the 10-speed, sometimes the F-150 felt a little bogged down. Sometimes it had trouble shifting, downshifting when it should. I haven't noticed that yet, but I'll let you know as I keep driving. As for the brakes, they're okay. I would say they're a little bit less than okay. The brake pedal is mushy. So the first few inches you press down, the F-150 doesn't really stop. It like barely stops. So then you realize you need to stop, so you step harder, and then the F-150 will catch, but then you get like a nosedive like this because you're pressing down so fast, right? So the brakes are okay. You got to get used to it, but the pedal does feel mushy, and it takes a while before this truck stops. Now, what about everything else about the drive? Well, I could tell Ford spent an enormous amount of time on insulation. And the first thing I notice is when you close your door, there's a soft thunk, right? That's very different from the previous F-150. And this is the base one, keep in mind. It's a very nice soft thunk. So I could tell there's good insulation with the doors. And right now while I'm driving around, it is very, very quiet. Very quiet. I forget that there is a gas motor still under the hood. I mean, this is hybrid. It still has a gas motor, but it's very muted. I hear nothing from the outside. Nothing. No wind noise, no road noise, nothing from the engine or exhaust. It's just a very, very quiet ride, quiet cabin. So Ford did an amazing job with insulation on this new F-150. Now, what's also nice is the ride. Now, the ride still uses leaf springs in the back, so it doesn't use air suspension like what you would find, or coil springs like what you would find on a Ram 1500, but I think Ford tweaked it so that it's comfortable. Now, this one comes with 17-inch wheels, so that means the tires, the sidewalls is absolutely enormous, so that probably helps with that. But, you know, around town, it feels good. Not too much rattles, you know, body shakes, bed rattle. It's all very limited. Of course, there still is when you're going over bigger bumps, but overall, it feels pretty good, very comfortable. And what's great about a full-size truck like this is your commanding view, right? It's hard to get in. That's why you should opt for side steps like this one does. But once you get in, man, you're so high off the ground. You get a great commanding view, and I love it. I love this drive. It's comfortable, and I love the view. Visibility is great all around. Now, what about the rest of the cabin? Well, the infotainment screen has been updated. This is utilizing the newest sync software, Sync 4. The one that's standard, the one that you see here is an 8-inch screen, which isn't too small. In pictures, it looks like really small, like a 4-inch screen. But no, it's an 8-inch screen. But of course, the bigger 12-inch one is better. But this has the same functions, and it actually works pretty well. I mean, the interface is not the most modern. It's bright, big buttons. You know, it's very easy to navigate between, like, say, audio, phone, apps, stuff like that. You get wireless in here, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, those are all standard, but you got a lot of other useful stuff. The resolution is a little bit smaller, so if you look at a rear camera, this is how you can tell the resolution is a little bit low, but overall, still good enough. Now, this F-150 is also pretty safe, like emergency braking and warning, lane assist, those are all standard. Of course, you get a camera, you can opt for sensors like rear parking sensors, right? And also blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, those are all standard too. So overall, in terms of safety features, you get pretty much everything. Now, underneath the infotainment screen, you have a big volume knob, scroll knob, and a few buttons for scrolling, so forth. And underneath, you have climate controls. Overall, if you look at the knobs, they look nice. They have a nice aluminum design, and they just look better, and they feel better too. So dual zones, pretty standard. You have fan control, your auto, your defrosters, all that good stuff. And this one has a 2-speed transfer case, so there is 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. And if you go into 4 low, you do get locking rear differential, which is really nice when you want to get out of a jam. Now, the center console design, very, very big and plain, basic, but it works. You get 2 more USB ports, a whole bunch of space there, and a whole bunch of space here, and cup holders. There's a whole bunch of space everywhere. There's no wireless charging, unfortunately. But what you do get in here, and that's new for 2021, is this table, this work table in here. This is genius. You can fold out the armrest, fold it out so you make like a flat table. So for those of you guys that are working, you have a laptop or something, you could set it here without fumbling around with it. It's really, really nice. And you get lockable storage underneath. If you open the armrest the other way, you'll see there's an enormous amount of space inside. So you can just store your laptop or whatever inside, and you can lock it in case you're afraid someone's gonna try to steal it. So this is brand new for 2021, and I'm a big fan. This is something small, but it does make the F-150 a lot more useful. Now, because this is the base trim, a lot of the niceties, the nice features that you will find in the upper trims are missing. For example, there's no sunroof in here, right? Power adjusting pedals not in here. Push button start, I mentioned that, not in here. Like a 360 view, a bigger infotainment screen, stuff like that is not equipped. But honestly, I know a lot of you guys don't care for any of that. You just want a nice truck that you could daily drive and bring to the work site. It has all the essential stuff that you need and none of the stuff that you really don't. So, you know what? I like it. Now, as for seats, I think Ford did a good job too. They're very comfortable. The ones up front, you know, they're cloth, they're not leather, but you know what? They feel good. It's holding me in, and I feel they are very comfortable. The only one thing that I think is a little bit small is the bottom cushion. I believe it's a little bit too short. It's not narrow, it's plenty wide, and it's very comfortable, but I feel like it's a little bit short, so I don't have enough leg support. I don't know if it's just me or not. It just feels a tad short, but overall, very comfortable. And even in the second row too. The second row is also very comfortable. It's well cushioned, and it's a good angle too. So next, let me talk about trim levels and pricing and give you my final thoughts on this brand new F-150.
As for trim levels and pricing, first you'll have to select your cab and bed lengths. There are 3 to choose from: regular, super cab, and super crew. And super crew has the largest second row space out of the 3. And as for bed length, you can select 5.5 foot, 6.5 foot, and finally 8 foot. As for trim levels, there are 6 to choose from. The base XL starts under $29,000. Then you have the XL SLT, Lariat, King Ranch, Platinum, and finally the Limited, which starts out over $70,000. The 4x4 Super Crew with the 5.5 foot bed that I drove today, along with a few options such as the PowerBoost engine and other convenience items, adds up to about $49,565. To conclude, the 2021 Ford F-150 is a fantastic truck. The exterior still has that bold Ford tough look with new details to make it stand out. Besides looks, the new work surface on the tailgate, along with the C-clamp slots and a new Pro Power system, all makes the F-150 more functional and more useful as a truck. The interior receives a vastly better cabin, the dash and center console designs are much better looking, higher quality, and much more functional. Same with that fold flat armrest. The updated sync infotainment system also works much better. The F-150 is still very spacious, high riding, and provides great visibility. The F-150 also rides very smoothly, and the hybrid version is nearly dead quiet around town. Lastly, the new PowerBoost engine is amazing when it comes to both power and fuel efficiency. Now, the 2021 F-150 can use some work with the steering play and the mushy brakes. The interior, although vastly improved for 2021, is still second fiddle compared to the luxury car interior of the Ram 1500. Same goes with the hidden storage and the air suspension that the Ram offers as well. Overall, I'm giving a brand new 2021 Ford F-150 Hybrid a score of 120. To see where it ranks, check out driversonlyrankings.com. Thanks for watching. Hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and check out these other videos.